Oh, where to begin, man? Yeah, I'm sorry to just keep bombing you here with videos, but I saw your video on homosexual marriage, and I had to respond, man. I'm sorry. I I just have to ask you like one question, man. It's like, you made the statement that it is an objective fact of reality that marriage is between one man and one woman. Monogamous marriage is the objectively only possible way to do the whole marriage thing, right? I just gotta ask, have you ever read this book? I mean, have you ever? Because I seriously can't see how anybody can make the statement that marriage is a monogamous marriage is objectively, between one man and one woman, period, and at the same time have read this book. I mean, the cool thing about the Bible is that it was written over 1,000 year period, and it describes a bewildering variety of human cultures, the way people have organized their lives across the years. From agrarian societies to pre-civilizations to anarchy. Every possible way except for hunter-gatherer basically is enumerated here, and in every society they have a different form of marriage. I mean, you know. And your argument saying, okay, if we don't recognize the objectively true nature of monogamous marriage, well, what's next? Polygamy? Newsflash, dude. I mean, have you read this book? Have you? I have read this book. Okay, it's like let me just like show you one thing. Okay, this is 2 Samuel 12:8, right? The prophet Nathan is, talking to David for violating the sanctity of marriage of somebody else, right? When he took Bathsheba, and Nathan says to David, okay, this is 2 Samuel 12:8. I gave you your Lord's house and your Lord's wives for your own. And if this were not enough, I could have given you still more. Okay, I mean, it's like, God here is like saying in his own voice, God had no problem with polygamy here. I mean, it's like, I mean, yes, it was a different time, it was a different society, but that's the whole point. In a different time, in a different society, you get a different kind of marriage. And, I mean, your slippery slope argument, which you claim is not a slippery slope, you go to the next step. It's like, what could possibly be, happen next? I mean, if we transgress this thing, are we talking incest? Dude, have you read this book? Have you read this book? Okay, where did Cain get his wife from? All right, where did Seth get his? I mean, yeah, okay, that was a special time when there were just like only a certain amount of humans on the planet. They didn't have much choice, right? But I mean, Genesis 20, okay, Genesis chapter 20, verse 12, okay, what's happened is, Abraham has gone into, Gerar, and the king of Gerar has, like, taken Abraham's wife, and blah, 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 you know the story, right? The king says to Abraham, it's like, why did you tell me that she was your sister? If I would have known she was your wife, I wouldn't have married your wife. And, what does Abraham say? Verse 12. Besides, she is in truth my sister, but only my father's daughter, not my mother's, and so she became my wife. I mean, yes, it's true. Abraham, the ancestor of Jesus Christ, okay, married his sister. I mean, have you read this book? Look, I mean, if just take your Strong's Concordance, okay, look up every instance of wife, husband, concubine, and just see the bewildering variety. I mean, every society that's described in this book, has a different manner of marriage that's appropriate for it, and it seems like God really respects the institution of marriage as we define it, as which is appropriate for our culture. As far as the rest of your arguments on monogamous marriage being like the, the most efficient way to birth babies and stuff. I mean, I'll largely pass over it in silence, except for I'll just make two comments. I mean, it's like, it's first of all, it's spectacularly misogynistic to say something like this. I mean, it's like. And even more efficient way to have babies would be like to use the free market forces to on our side here, right? Why not have like Shebay where we can like auction off wombs that are available for I don't know, and I don't want to come down too hard on you, man, because obviously when you made this video you'd never been married, but I mean the whole thought of like monogamous marriage being like the most efficient way to birth babies. Wake up and smell the coffee, man. Peace, bro. Just a final thought, man. Okay, you obviously have not read this book or do not know whatsoever about what the Bible says about heterosexual marriages. So how can you possibly be so sure you know what it would say about homosexual marriages? In point of fact, it doesn't say anything at all about homosexual marriages. Your position is a theological position, and just even arguing from within your viewpoint here, okay, your theology has blinded you to actually reading what the Bible has to say, which is a very dangerous position according to your own worldview. I mean, your religion is false religion. Come back to the light, man. Come back to the light.